Truth, lies, shenanigans.
All right, guys. Bobby Flay was recently on TV talking about tipping, and it started a lot of conversation online. So in the U.S., tipping 15 or 20% extra cash to your server has always been voluntary, based on their level of service, except if you had like a large party or something. So the gratuity would usually get added automatically if you had a large party, but now we've got these silly service charges randomly showing up on our bills. Like I went to a restaurant recently and it was 22% just automatically put on my bill. And they had the nerve to add an additional line for additional gratuity. Now, if I hadn't looked to see if that service charge was on there, I would have tipped another 20%. Right? So these service charges, they started with the pandemic, and some restaurants have embraced service charges because they claim it's meant to help with the costs to even out wages for servers, which are typically kind of low. But it's left diners like me confused as hell. So then there's also there's this tipping, there's a debate about whether or not we should get rid of tipping altogether, because some argue it's unfair, right? But it also leads to inconsistencies. They say tipping perpetuates racial and gender biases, with women and people of color often being at a disadvantage. Some even call it racist, misogynistic, right? And say tipping should go away altogether. So if that's the other side of the coin, right? Then if we talk about these crazy carryout joints, you know, when you have those things and they're offering like 30% tips for pickup or takeout food. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, are you crazy?
What did you even do?
I mean,
you didn't do anything.
I'm blown when it's like a 30%. I'm like, anyway, we won't go into that. Exactly. We won't go into that. But what's the etiquette here? You know, should restaurants go with a service charge or tipping? And if there's a service charge, if you agree with that, do you think we should be tipping on top of the service charge? What's fairest to the server? Let's start with you, Rob.
Okay, so I know that the restaurant industry is pretty cutthroat. They're operating on pretty meager profit lines to begin with. So I'm a big fan of people getting paid a working wage.
Yes.
So, you know, if we have to resort to tips and gratuities to help make a living wage for the person that's working, that's really a shortcoming of the employer and the industry. As far as I'm concerned, charge what you need to charge to make this a profit, to make this a dining experience that I want to return to, and I feel that it's been valued. Charge me what I'm going to charge. Don't give me an asterisk and a hidden surcharge that I have to look for. And then if the service and the food was to my liking, then I can tip the standard 15% if I choose to. If it was an excellent dining experience, I may choose to tip more. But if I have a bad service experience, why on earth would I pay you a surplus beyond my meal experience for something that I didn't enjoy? I was miserable for an hour and change. No, I've tipped a penny, and I've also tipped very handsomely.
You've tipped a penny?
No way. That's so mean.
Probably. Okay, I've never tipped that low. No, I take it back. I'm lying. There's been two times that I tipped nothing. There's 2 times I've tipped nothing. And because it was just a horrible experience.
See, and to me, it was about sending a point, and that's why the penny got left behind. Tipping nothing is a chump move. It's like, man, walk away. You're cheap. Leaving a penny, that's a statement on this bad service that you just received.
But usually, even if I have bad service, I will tip just a low amount, maybe like 10% or something like that, because I mean, unless they're just horrible. Like, let's say they were busy that night and they forgot to give my water. I might charge 15%. You know?
That's minor. But
now, if they were on top of everything, I'm 20%. Now, if they just, if I saw them once that night, I'm still probably going to tip 10%, you know? But what I'm saying is, I don't know. I'm Johnny, what do you think? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Johnny, what do you think?
No, it's okay. I mean, this industry is changing. So regardless of what we say, something's going to happen. I personally feel like servers, I used to be a server. for two different
What?
for two different
Mhm.
restaurants. Yeah,
How was
it
that?
was fun. It was fun times. It was really fun actually. I got tipped pretty well. I would just say me as a server, I'm not the best. Don't ask me to be your waitress. I'm not a good. I'm not good at it.
You
I
probably
forget
got tipped well
things.
because you were cute.
Yeah, and I talk to people and I like
You were
care and
friendly.
people like talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but not because of the service. But no, I think that servers should get I think servers should at least get between 17-20 an hour. And I think that tipping should just be voluntary, like it is kind of now. I don't think there should be a secret
Yeah.
service fee, even though they do that anyway, even with delivery. So I don't like that. But I mean, and I think on top of that, it discourages frequent like visits to that restaurant or frequent visits to any of those restaurants because it's like extra added on fees. So I don't know. I'm
Mhm.
not for it. I think they should pay servers livable, kind of livable wage, which is 17 to 25 an hour, and allow them to still get tips. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, because tips should be extra, in my opinion. I mean, they should
Yeah.
be able, they should have a living wage like everyone else, because obviously most servers are don't even a lot of servers don't even get minimum wage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, depending if they're at IHOP or something like that, and they're
Oh yeah, Waffle
barely
House.
Waffle House, they're barely at minimum wage, and then if you don't
Yeah.
tip them, they
Yeah.
get nothing. How are they supposed to live? So if at least they have a living wage, and then if they want, you know, disposable income, do a great job, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Right. That's hard.
because
Just performance based work.
I will say part
Well,
of the
tipping is incentive for excellent service.
Exactly.
Tipping incentivizes people to go above and beyond to make your experience something great. And if I'm paying a premium for average food that I could prepare at home, like maybe not to the same caliber as a chef, but I'm paying
Right.
for a premium dining experience. So the last thing I want is for someone to be snotty, catty, dismissive. I want a good experience while I'm there, and that falls heavily
True.
on the server.
Now,
It really does.
I will say these service charges, part of the reasoning of the service charges is because waitresses and waiters may or may not share their tips, or they share
it's
a
funny that you
portion of
say
their
that.
tips
I
to
don't
like the
think they
bus
should do that.
boys, the back of the house, and things like that. So the
I was a
service
short order
charges
cook, and I never saw a
a
tip.
dime, I bet.
Not once. Never. I saw the waitresses making their tips. As a short order cook, I never got a cut of that, and we were getting the same minimum wage rate.
So I will say service charges are intended to make sure everyone in the house gets a cut towards you know, a tip, whatever that tip is. But I'm definitely going to only do one or the other. And I don't like that the service charge is a set amount. 22%, if I got bad service, that's not happening. So
Yeah.
and I don't think
exactly.
legally, I'm not sure legally they can charge a service charge in many places. I don't know. There may be some places where it's possible, but I don't think they can legally charge or force you to pay a service charge.
Gratuity.
It'll
Yeah.
be
I don't-
interesting to find that out.
Yeah, I don't believe that is the case because, you know, they could add a service charge of 50% and you not be aware of it. You know,
Right.
those type of numbers need to be upfront.
Yeah.
You know, because that'd be crazy if I got a 50% service charge and you told me I had to pay a 50% service charge. I'm like, you lost your mind. I'm walking out.
I mean, they would have
Right.
to.
And
They
that's
would
it.
have
To
to
me,
let
the
you
price
know
is the
from the
price
menu.
is the price.
Yeah.
The price is the price
Right.
is the price. Don't hide fees or anything. Nobody
I
likes
hate
hidden
that.
fees. And I don't
It's
want to do,
annoying.
I enjoy doing math, but I don't want to do it when I'm trying to factor out the cost of my dining experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just want to pay and leave.
And yeah, I don't really like service charges.
Truth.
Is this truth, lies, shenanigans?
Again.
It's
I
true,
think
but
it's true in shenanigans because I think they should just pay these servers.
shenanigans
I
with
remember
these service charges.
Shenanigans.
some people like have to
Shenanigans.
feed their children off of server tips. So like, let's
Yeah.
be realistic.
Yeah,
Make
and
people normal.
I'll be honest, when I got that 22%, I was like, there's no way I'm paying a tip on top of this. So I felt bad for the server because I wasn't going to leave anything behind for him. But hey, they're not getting more than 20. The most I usually will do is about 25%.
Neo's got to eat.
They lost their mind if they're going to do 22% plus 20%. That's but 50% tip? Nah.
Like Johnny said, man, like it's restaurants succeed on repeat business. So if you create a model where people are going to get turned off after their first experience, then you're losing out.
Absolutely. All right.